This is mini Rendelina Reviews within the Trini Inspiration. We're going to get the close-up as Melina and Rendel decide to do their samples, but not to be outdone, that's your share. And this is mine. Every great nation is built on some foundation, pillars, principles, and ideas. I believe that Trinidad and Tobago is a rainbow island, and I believe that Trinidad and Tobago is built on the concept that we are in fact a melting pot of cultures and people. We are what Trinis call a callaloo country and a callaloo culture. We're a mixture of everything and anything, and when fused, when combined, we create the most beautiful, tastiest, most delicious and decadent thing that was ever created. This is the Trinidad and Tobago that I know, and this is the Trinidad and Tobago that we can continue to lay claim to if only we search hard enough for the inspirations that lay sometimes right under our noses. Welcome to the first installment of the show that is Trini Inspirations, hosted by yours truly, Fazeer, a production of Fuzz Events Entertainment Ltd in association with our friends at Impressions Studio. One of the things, undoubtedly, that connects people across cultures, and one of the best ways that you could really get to know a people, is by getting to know their food. And today it is a great pleasure of mine to introduce to the first episode of Trini Inspirations two folks, husband and wife, who have been helping Trinidad and Tobago to find inspiration, to find commonality through the deliciousness that is a Trinidad and Tobago culinary adventure. We say good afternoon and welcome to the team, the husband and wife of Rendel and Melina, who together, when they're on camera at least, are known as Rendelina Reviews. Yeah. I feel like I should have an automated round of applause running in the back. Guys, I just want to let you know that firstly, I appreciate the fact that you have accepted the invitation to be on the first episode of Trini Inspirations, and thank you as well for observing all COVID protocols. I hope that you are comfortable with all of the initiatives that we have taken as well to ensure that we can be maskless, if you so wish as well, with our partition in between. Rendelina Reviews. Tell us about the name. I mean, it's a no-brainer, but it's Rendel and Melina, and that's how you came up with Rendelina Reviews. But you all also own a small business called Render Vision, right? Render Vision Productions, right? How has all of this come about? Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Well, I guess the relationship came first.
And who was responsible for that? Who pursued whom?
Wow, what? Look this story here.
We going right? I think I'm responsible for it because I reconnected with Melina. She went to my secondary school, right. Fazeer Rojan composite.
His own, yeah.
Right, and at the time I was a small nerdy kind of guy, and she was like, one of them best thing walking around. So I didn't have no chance, but after school, I was able to reconnect and say hi and, slide in the DMs or whatever.
Till it eventually, it was like, I could pass by you in Marbella. So.
Yeah, so, after the relationship, we realized that we was just going all over the place. We was running a lot of errands. We would eat food, and for some reason, we would be critiquing the food and talking about it. And it was like, you know what, hey, we can maybe do a page about this, just put it out on Facebook and stuff. And I always love movies, so that's how the video came in. And Melina was nice enough to invest and buy a camera.
Oh, but he skipped the part with how we got the name, because Rendel, when he used to come to Marbella, he used to be running a lot of errands.
All right.
So he used to visit a particular ice cream place in Marbella, and the lady always had carrot cake. So before she got to know his name, his nickname was Carrot Cake. And then when she met me,
I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to talk about that.
right. So when she met me, she fused the name together, and that's how we got Rendelina. So when we decided to start the page, that's how Rendelina Reviews came about.
Yeah, so one person is responsible for the name.
Anyways, one of the other things that you mentioned is that, you know, the first thing that really came about was the union, and then you all fell in love with food and started critiquing the food, etc. This is actually the reason why I have gravitated towards your page, your channels, your videos, because there are 1,000 other food vloggers, legitimate, established, up and coming, right? Whether they're blogging about it, vlogging about it on different platforms, whichever platform it is. But I think that your offering as a couple who is critiquing the food, but not just for the sake of critiquing the food, but this is just how you all are. You all doing something that you love as a married couple, having fun, promoting good family vibes. I love the love that you all show in the videos, even when you're trying to be, you know, a little smart, a little curt, a little, you know, is a nice vibe, is a love, is a tough love sometimes. I love it. So I love that, and I love the fact that you're promoting all these wonderful positive things. The food vlogging is just something that happened, by the way. That's the means to an end. The food vlogging is just the means by which you all have a good time and enjoy your marriage together, and you're just sharing this journey with everybody else.
Yes, exactly. Right. Because when we started, we wanted to like review everything, like products and places and stuff like that, but people just like really like to see food, and they always like message us and say, hey, check this place, you need to check this place, you need to check this place. So we have this list of places we need to go. You know what I mean? But
it's like a really nice thing because we try to showcase a variety of things, and there are people who can't even eat the amount of food of what we showcase on our page, but they live through our page. So we had one particular girl, she is in the National Crohn's and Colitis Association, and I mean, she can't eat everything there, but she says, you know, sometimes I watch your page and you guys really make me happy, and I can eat through the screen and feel good.
That was
I love that. I love that. But just to switch gears a little bit, this is Trini Inspiration, and one of the main conversations that I wanted to have with you guys today is the fact that your stories, because you don't just review food, you also tell stories through the food and with the food. And you have unearthed some incredible, inspirational stories and entrepreneurial journeys. And I made a note of some of them because I just thought that the stories were absolutely incredible, like the ice cream parlor somewhere in Central where they started with 4 flavors, now they're doing like 70 plus.
Yeah, and it's premium ice cream.
Right, and their journey was one where they just needed supplementary income, and you know, they started then Heat and Eat, where they turned a winning curry duck competition curry duck into a product that they could sample. If this duck is so good and winning out competitions, why can't we make some money from it? That's entrepreneurial spirit right there. And then one of the latest vlogs that you all have done, going down to Guaya to check out Auntie and her family, Mom and her family down in Guaya, who are doing the dirt oven products, the cakes and breads, etc. It's a family business that has been thriving in the midst of the pandemic. So it shows that, hey, there is inspiration even in the midst of the pandemic. We could make money, we could find new ways to make money, we could create new opportunities. So your stories are not just about food, and I hope you don't ever see them as just about food, because you've been telling inspirational stories, and you're basically digital storytellers with the narratives, and this is phenomenal. Is there some groundwork that goes into the prep for telling these stories as well? Not just the food reviews, but the stories behind them.
Actually, yes, I will leave this up to Rendel, because there's a reason why we started. And
trying to hold back details, to be honest. Because, I mean, yes, I like food, but it comes from my mom. She was a caterer. She was amazing. She could have made anything taste good, but she didn't have no kind of marketing. She didn't have no kind of reach. So it's like she never had that kind of exposure now. And everybody have an amazing story, you know. If you really listen, everybody have an amazing story. But it's how it just get told. Wow, it's like I'm feeling really emotional. Oh good Lord. Wow. Right. So yeah. Well, unfortunately, she died when she was 50. And when I met Melina and we got the camera and we got this thing going, you know, initially we started and we was like, oh well, we tasting this and we tasting that, and after I realized, like, hey, everybody have a good story, everybody have, you went through, I mean, if you tell me your story from getting from, I don't know, when you was a teenager to now, it'll be interesting, you understand? So it's like, it's not like we going out to, hey, I want to tell this story, hey, I want to tell this story. Everybody have a good story. And once you put the right camera in the right angle, with the right, I guess, our dynamic, the story does be amazing. And I think what has drive me is that I wasn't able to do it for my own mother. I think that's what has drive me. Because every day, I try to highlight somebody, because the food industry isn't an easy thing. It's still hard to get up 5 o'clock every morning to think, if you have kids, and do what you have to do, and still deal with customers, deal with the public, and after, try to make ends meet, pay rent, all this sort of thing. It's hard. And people need to know that these business owners, they're not just selling you food, they're giving you their time, their very soul to just provide you with a service, So alright, I know the role and I'm thinking, but whoa, I didn't expect this to affect me so much. But yeah, that is one of the driving forces behind Rendelina. We want to tell the story behind the business. We not just come in and say, oh, hey, this pizza tasting good, or you should come and try it. No. This man come from Egypt to sell pizzas in Trinidad. He like the tropics. And he meets somebody in we didn't say that in that story, but he liked the tropics, he liked Trinidad, he just want to sell pizza, and that's it. This kind of thing. Everybody have a story.
But we also want to expose every person in a nook and cranny that doesn't have a big name or something like that, and they have a talent and a skill. So we want to expose that.
Yeah, sorry if I
find them and expose that.
A little bit too long there, but
you didn't, because you know what? The only relevant question I could ask you now after you've shared all of that is, how do you feel to have now had the chance to tell your story?
A little bit emotional. Yeah, a little bit emotional. I didn't expect to feel like this, because Melina does do a lot of the talking, and I just do all the technical work and stuff like that. But it's nice to I guess share it with you guys.
Actually, we were supposed to do that when we initially launched the page and tell the story and whatnot, but it just kept on going in the direction of, oh, we need to go to this place, so we didn't have the time to film it.
Yeah, but I think it's something we should do to just it's not just two people like to eat, and it's kind of way.
So we are grateful to you for actually airing the story.
I am grateful to you guys for accepting the invitation and for telling that story too. And man, mommy would be proud, boy.
Yeah, don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah.
All right.
On that same note, with that same feeling, the Venezuelan subject is one that is very near and dear to me, not because I have any cocoa in the sun. But I say that, right? But because this is a human issue, right? It's a human issue. And you would never imagine that you could use food to bridge social gaps. And you guys did that. And it left me wondering whether this was deliberate, but the timing was impeccable. In the midst of the ongoing narrative, dialogue, argument, sensationalism, everything that's unfolding on social media, when it comes to the Venezuelan migrants in Trinidad, you all took up your cameras, took your time, money, and appetite, and went and searched out some of the best Venezuelan food in Trinidad to tell the story of Venezuelan food and to let Trinbagonians feel a sense of connectedness to Venezuelan people, even if the starting point is through a meal. That is an incredible thing to be able to do with a food vlog.
You ain't making me feel bite up here, but
I think, I mean, with the introduction, everybody could identify with food. And we actually met the couple that was Senior Siche they were actually a long time love story. The guy actually started off on the cross. His wife is from Venezuela, and they started doing empanadas and arepas on the cross.
Yeah, like what, 15 years ago?
So
yeah.
right, so when the borders were open and we were welcoming Venezuelan population into the country, we saw it fitting to do that.
Yeah, and we actually did some videos on Instagram as well, where I think they were signing up for what it was.
That was when they were registering.
Yeah, we did a video on that as well. Like it had a lot of Trinis that were actually coming and feeding them, and we just like filmed a little bit of it as well. I don't think they saw
the
that,
person
but
didn't want to be on camera, but we wanted to show that despite the majority of the population was saying, oh, the Venezuelans shouldn't be here and it shouldn't open up to them, there are some people that are willing to welcome them, willing to feed them and make them feel like home, because you need to put yourself in their shoes. And what if you didn't have a country to live in? You didn't have a home. You don't know how your children are going to be fed. That kind of thing now. So, yeah. Yeah,
and I think what happened in Trinidad, they're not humanizing a lot of these people. They're like, oh, them Veni, this kind of way. So I think we was just trying to humanize them a little bit, because it wasn't treating them like people, and it was pretty strange, but yeah.
I agree. This is we're here to talk about a conversation that started from food, and look at where we've reached.
Well, yeah.
And that's why the intro at the start, I think, was on point in that food does have that capacity to reach everything and everybody and to tell stories. And you guys have been telling a lot of stories, So is there a process?
Yes, actually there is a process. Well, first of all, sometimes we reach out to people and people reach out to us. So we would try to assess, we would first ask them if they have social media platforms, assess their potential in terms of if they would be able to handle the influx of people that may come to them afterwards, if they if they need photography. It's a variety of things. You wanna?
Yeah, because it's like we started about 3 years ago, and of course there's a lot of trial and error. And there have been places we've done reviews and they couldn't handle the influx of people. Right. The social media wasn't up to par, and we learned that there's certain hurdles they had to cross before we come and do a video now. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's not just having a best meal or a best dish.
No.
They also have to have the capacity to handle the exposure that you're giving to them.
Yes, and sometimes it's just based on how business would approach us. We would know if they're serious or not.
Yeah.
I got you.
And then we also do our research, whether they have negative reviews, how they handle it, that kind of thing. We look for, how they respond to people, because it's a business is not just about serving. Well, the service is a general thing, and service also means that you need to take your feedback and realize which one is constructive, realize what you need to tweak, and how you respond to them, not be like, oh, my food best, and don't tell me how to cook, buy somewhere else. No, they can't do that.
So all of what you have just said there sort of just encapsulates the reason as to why your food vlogs have been so successful. This is not Vikey Vi. Trinis would understand that. If you're not a Trini, don't sweat it, I'll explain in the description. This is not Vikey Vi. You all are doing your due diligence, putting in the groundwork before you go out there to do the food reviews. So for anybody else who would like to become a food vlogger or venture down this road, please know that it's not just picking up a camera and going to taste somebody's food and bringing forth your opinion. There's also a lot that happens in the background as well. So guys, we've had a very full and enlightening, in-depth conversation about a variety of matters, and this all started over a meal. And a series of meals, But getting back to the fun side of things, just before we wrap up, I have two things that I just need to get off my chest. One is called 5 Top 5. I have 5 questions that I want to toss your way. All right, 5 questions I want to toss your way, and you guys give me your top 5 answers to those questions, right? But before we get to top 5, I have something that my wife and I whipped up for the both of you, because we thought about, y'all are going all over and tasting food all over. What would you probably not ever find, right now at least, anywhere on sale in the country? And we came up with this particular thing. Now, this is not a religious dish or anything like that, but you tend to find it at Muslim homes when they have like a little gathering or prayers or something or whatever, right? But there's nothing religious or anything like that about it. It's something called halwa, right? It's made with everything that is good for the mind, but not necessarily for the heart and the body. So I'm not sure if you guys could see that there. Halwa usually comes shaped as a ball. Sometimes you'll get malida at a Muslim home as well. This is made with flour, sugar, milk, and butter. Well, the butter not that unhealthy, but flour, sugar, milk, butter. And it is heart healthy in the figurative sense, but absolutely not in the literal sense. But I'm going to pass this over to you guys here.
Thank you.
That is yours.
Okay.
And since you all will never have the opportunity to review that at any other food location, commercial location, I'm going to give you a moment to review this now.
We tasting together?
Yeah, take one now.
Yeah, it's stuck to the plate.
Get butter open. Like.
Cheers.
Okay.
You get in a kind of parched flour, something.
This literally tastes like a whole set of delicacies mixed up in
Yeah.
one. It reminded me of good Lord, what's the thing I like to make? Sea wine for some reason.
It's parched in much the same way.
Okay.
So it's not baked or fried, it's actually just parched in the pot first.
Yeah, it's have that same taste, but it's a different texture.
Yeah. It have that same wine flair. I was picking my brain and saying, what it is.
Yeah,
But I only make say wine once a year. So, I don't know if it's any Muslim community, it's like a normal breakfast thing, but
So wine?
yeah.
Any time of the year, really.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
just predominant around Eid time, but any time of the year, really.
This is really good though.
And this is not too sweet or anything. There's some salt in here, so you balance out the flavor. I love this. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. You guys, while you're munching, you ready for top 5?
Yeah.
All right. No, don't put it down. Continue to munch.
All right.
Yeah, and let's see how best you could answer this with a full mouth.
I like to savor the taste.
All right. So welcome to top 5. We have 5 questions for the Rendelina Reviews team, and they're gonna give us their collective top 5 answers to each of these questions. All right. And first question, and any of you could take it or both of you could take it at any time. What are your top 5 weirdest dishes that you have sampled?
Yeah, most recent. What's the most recent?
Curry ice cream.
That's not the most recent. Go ahead.
Okay,
Curry ice cream. How to be the oh good Lord.
Marshmallow chow.
All right, yes, right. This not the pepper ice cream. The what they call
Pineapple chow ice cream. I don't like eel with sushi in it. I mean sushi with eel in it. What's again? Plantain cocoa ice cream. Plantain chocolate ice cream. That we call 5 already, right?
Yeah, that's 5.
That's right.
Yeah, that's 5. That's a lot of ice cream in there though, but that's 5. All right, so that's 5 weirdest dishes. Your top 5 most surprising dishes, as in at first maybe it sounded kind of odd, but when you had it, you were pleasantly surprised. Top 5 most surprising dishes.
Well, yeah, we're starting off with the saltfish pizza.
Pineapple chow ice cream, although it will clear out your nasal passage, you'll be coughing out your life. It's surprisingly good, and I endorse in 80s premium ice cream because they are really brilliant with their stuff.
Yeah, really good.
The almond palm. So almond palm is for vegetarians, and it tastes like Parmesan cheese. It smells and tastes like Parmesan cheese.
No cheese.
And you can add it on your pastas or anything that you feel it's suiting. Oh gosh, and it's nice, it's lovely. And nice nutty flavor, and it actually tastes like Parmesan cheese. What's again?
I think that's about 3, but no problem, we could stop there.
I feel like a lot of weird.
And so that's weirdest, and then that's most surprising. My next question is, what are your top 5 most Trini dishes? And what I mean by that is the 5 dishes that you're absolutely 100% certain you will not go anywhere else on this planet and that get either that concoction or that combination.
We can't do the thing is, Trinidad so mixed up with races and cultures and whatever. I don't think there's any one thing that we wouldn't get outside, but you make it's within the Caribbean.
I feel like I get a good pillow.
So
I think other Caribbean people might take offense to that, but
yes, yes.
Anything else that just sort of
Crab and dumpling. I don't know the way how we do it, maybe.
All right.
And a curry duck. The way we do it.
I'll take that. All right. So my 4th question is, your top 5 most inspirational foodies that you have interviewed. Doesn't have to be the people, it could be the story they told, it could be their entrepreneurial story, their personal story, but the top 5 stories that have touched you the most.
Number 1 is Dove's Dirt Oven, because of the family dynamic, and it's passed on from the dad onto the daughter and her new family, and the way how they cooperate together. That's one of them.
Yeah, we never told our story like that. For me, it's Shemalicious, of course, because I mean, she also got the recipe from her aunt, and you know, she took it on our next level with the saltfish pizza and stuff, and her entrepreneurial spirit is like second to none. Every day she's just be grinding and doing what she needs to do.
I'll take Dove's Dirt Oven as the top of the lot for now. My last question is this, right? You all are well-established, very prominent, popular, trending food vloggers, right? Past, present, or upcoming. 5 other foodies, food vloggers, etc., who you would either like to work with or have been inspired by or are presently following. Any 5 foodies or food vloggers.
Also, we speaking of locals here.
Could be anybody, but locals would be preferable.
Okay.
Okay, well, I mean, starting off the list with Eat Our Food. Yeah, Badawi, I think he's like a really creative guy.
Brilliant.
Like I would look at his videos and be like, wait, but when I will get to that level,
Right.
you know what I mean? Other than that, to have a few readers follow on Instagram. Vicky Eats is but she's in America.
Right.
She's do like really, really clean videos. Well, when it comes to me following anybody, the videos have to be better than mine.
Right.
There's something I'm looking
I
at.
totally
You
understand.
understand?
Totally
So
understand.
she's do like really clean videos, a lot of Chinese and Korean dishes, amazing stuff, right? And other than that, we follow like the big ones like Tasty.
Some video people that he always watching, especially when he cooking in the kitchen.
Oh yes, right.
Epic mealtime.
Yeah, you know anything about Epic Meal Time?
No, for sure. All right, so you know what? I'll take that for the hour, right? Rendel, Melina, you all have been an inspiration through food and even in this conversation in the absence of food. And this has been absolutely amazing. And I hope that more people, because Trinidad and Tobago is a culinary delight, I think if anybody were to have had the experiences that you all have had, you'd realize that Trinidad, for such a small island, we have a real immaculate and well spread out palate, boy.
Yes.
It's incredible, absolutely incredible. And therein is enough inspiration for that apt description of we are a melting pot of cultures and a callaloo of people. I'm taking that any day, anytime, and I'm hoping that we could get back to that point. Wherever it's broken, I hope we could fix it, and food will have to play undoubtedly a huge role in that. So you guys keep on keeping on. Thank you very much for sharing all the amazing vlogs with us. Thank you for inspiring our next meal sometimes, our next cheat and treat meals.
Right.
And thank you for sharing the story with us today. I hope that anybody and everybody looking on at today's episode, our debut episode, by the way, and there was nobody else that I would have liked to start this off with than the both of you. So thank you, and I mean that sincerely. So thank you both very much for obliging to this, and also for the invitation a couple months ago to come and judge the corridor competition.
Right.
Thank you again for that, and blessings in all that you do moving forward, and I hope that you continue to inspire people through food and tell their stories through food as well.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much
Thank
for
you so
having
much
us
for
and
saying,
taking the interest. We really do appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks for watching, because I mean, we wouldn't even be here if it wasn't watching.
And just do me one favor though, right?
What is
On the way out, on a scale of 10, give my wife 12 for the halwa, right? It'll score some good points for me. That's it for our first episode of Trini Inspirations with Rendel and Melina, the Rendelina Reviews crew. God willing, I will catch up with you again next Monday. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and all the links for Rendelina Reviews will be down in our descriptions below. Catch you next week. Till then, bye-bye for now, and God bless.